y'all. I just washed my hair, so we about to chat while I figure out what I'm gonna do with it for the night. Cause I don't know. But anyway, let's talk about how we use words too loosely when we describe a situation or a person. Let me go ahead and start. Friends. Okay, I think we be too quick to call somebody a friend. Okay, it requires work to actually be somebody's friend. For me anyway, it requires work. It requires actual work for me to consider you a friend of mine. I think um, we want to be accepted and wanted, and want people to appreciate the type of people that we are, that we automatically accept people at their lowest, not knowing that that's where they are. I'm gonna say this again. We want people to accept us, so we're happily accepting people at their lowest, not knowing that that's who they really are. Okay, we got to accept who they show us the first time, and by doing that, it it minimizes the hurt that you get once you find that out. Once you find out that person really wasn't your friend for real. When you start accepting the person that they showed you to begin with, you won't be using those words when you describe them as loosely as y'all use them. Friend is one. Loyalty is another. Thinking someone is loyal to you because they did a favor for you. Okay. Um, love. Loving somebody is an action that requires showmanship. You got to show me that you love me. Do do things and show me characteristics of someone that loves me. Now, let's not get love confused with in love. That's different, whole nother video. However, we are so quick to use these words when we describe people um, that we have in our lives. You guys have to know what an acquaintance is. You have to be okay with, hey, that's a person that I associate with. And you have to be comfortable in knowing, like, hey, that's a cool person, but I don't love you. You cool. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you have shown me that you're a decent person, but for me to love you, it requires some work from you. And I think far too often we are too giving, too fast, too soon, and then our feelings are hurt because we've been given. Because with loving somebody and calling somebody a friend and stuff like that, that comes with perks, or it's supposed to. Like being a friend to somebody comes with perks and benefits that you provide because you're a friend, you love them. So I think when we are so quick to say, like, hey, I love this person, or this person's a good person to me, and then we get to doing things that we would do for our friend or and someone else that we love, we start to expect certain things from that friend, from said friend that I love, right? And then when that doesn't happen, then you start to feel away. I'm saying this to say, be easy, breezy. You don't have to rush your love. You don't have to rush your title. Okay? Like, you can be an acquaintance of someone forever, and they don't never have to be your friend, your best friend. You don't have to love this person. Oh, I just love how my hair is growing back. But we want to be included and inclusive, and we want to give love, because I just don't believe that people are just naturally bad people. I just don't believe it. I do believe that some people naturally think negatively because of the environment in which they were raised in. But I don't think that makes them a bad person. So I don't go around thinking like, oh my God, people are bad people, right? That there is a certain type of people I think are bad people, but we're not gonna get into that. But to automatically, after just meeting them, first encounter with them, or a couple encounters with them, and you're like, oh man, that's my friend, I'm gonna invite them into my space. I want you guys to be a little bit more protective of you, protective of yourself, protective of your family, protective of your circle, protective of your mind and your spirit. Most importantly, your body, right? Um, we don't have to rush into these titles and these labels that we like to give people because we want them people to feel included in our lives. You can hang out with a person, you can you know, share certain, conversations with a person, but that does not entitle them to be awarded such high notoriety in your life. Because I feel like if I call you my friend, that's big business for me. Because that means I'm inviting you around my family, which is important to me. Anybody that knows me personally knows, like my children and my grandchildren, my spouse. That is my core. That is my meaning. That is my reason. So if I'm calling you a friend and I am inviting you amongst them, then that speaks high volumes. That means I speak high volumes of you, and that's just not easily rewarded to people. That has to be earned. Just like, we have to demand respect from people in our presence. And I just don't think we do that enough anymore. And because of that, you're getting hurt. You're getting hurt because the person that you thought they were, they wasn't. And they wasn't that person because they never was that person. You didn't take the time to actually get to know them. You had a few encounters and you felt like, oh, the vibe is cool. You feel me? The vibe is cool. So yeah, I can go ahead. I love them. Like I love her. You see it all the time. Part of the reason why I stopped watching reality shows, because episode 2, everybody love it. Everybody love each other. Like, girl, you just met this girl off this boat. Like, you don't know this person. And then come episode 7, everybody beefing. That's because you don't know her. That's because you don't know her. You took her at face value, which I just don't recommend doing. Again, I don't believe everybody, people are just maliciously going out here being bad people. But I also believe giving myself space and grace. And with doing that, I'm taking my time to get to know somebody. Far too often, I have accepted somebody in my life, I brought them around my children to only be backstabbed. That wasn't a genuine friend. Something happened in my life, they told all my business. It's some envious little jokes. What I do, they don't do. Oh, that she has all these kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, it starts to be little, people get comfortable. Once you allow somebody to get comfortable, all you gotta do is sit back and listen to them. All you gotta do is sit back and listen to them. How they genuinely feel about you is gonna come out in the conversations. Sober or drunk, it doesn't matter. Let a person get comfortable enough, they're gonna put it in the form of a joke. Pay attention to it. So I used to be like, oh, I know I can be difficult, I can be abrasive, I can be combative, I can be this. So let me show that I have a softer side of Sears. You feel me? And I was inviting people into my space. Them people were not good for my space. They were earth disturbers, or genuinely just not a good fit for me and my life and how I want to live it. So let's stop using these words loosely. Let's take our time with who you meet and how they present themselves to you. I always go off of first impressions for everything. I don't care. First impressions is everything to me, because I feel like at our big old age, how you want me to perceive you is how you approach me. So if you approach me on some madness or it just look like some straight foolishness, that's how I'm assuming that you are. Because if you wanted me to think something different, you would have approached me differently. You feel me? Like, I'm feeding off the energy that you gave. So I go off of first impressions. If it don't feel right in my core, if it don't feel right in my spirit, I don't entertain even attempting to get to know somebody for them to be a friend of mine. Like, I just don't do it, because why? Like, my intuition has never steered me wrong. It's not gonna start. So I genuinely trust my first instincts when I'm meeting somebody, and I encourage you all to do the same. Stop going around calling everybody your sister, your brother, telling them your business, bringing people to your home. Um, you know, giving everybody your number, telling everybody where you work, you know, because as soon as you find out, what happens? What happens? So as soon as y'all get into it over something trivial too, y'all see them girls trips on TikTok, and they made it out of the group chat, but they didn't make it out the airport. Y'all seen that? And then what happens? You see weeks worth of internet bashing, telling somebody business, going popping up to somebody's job, telling them y'all your intimate details about your life and how you raise your kids and how many men you sleep with or whatever. You know what I'm saying? All of that is all up for grabs. Somebody that's your genuine friend that love you would never do that. Like, I done fell out with chicks and I ain't never said a word about them because that's just not my nature. I'm not set up like that. My heart won't allow me to do nothing like that. And I've seen a lot of chicks do a lot of different things, and I'm just not set up like that. But that's because I was a genuine friend. I was an actual friend to you. You feel me? So to avoid or try to avoid, because you know, sometimes you just can't never tell. Like that person is just, oh my gosh, like that person came through and has always been coming through, and then you don't know that they're a snake in the grass until years later, and a situation has arose, and that person is the center of it, and you're like, oh well, damn. You feel me? Just be careful with you. Like that's really the best advice I can give anybody, male, female. Um, it don't matter. Somebody that you grew up with, family. Just be careful with you. Be careful with what you allow, what you accept, who you include, and stand on it. Always stand on business about yourself. Always. Cool Granny is out of here. I'm gonna finish this little hair. Y'all have a good night.